Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are continuing work on the Stihl 4-cylinder engine that I've been making. Going through footage from last year. I never recorded an intro kind of in between these videos, so sometimes the videos just kind of end and I don't have like a good explanation of like where I left off in the process, so I'm kind of doing these little intro videos as kind of futuristic like insert shots just to try and explain what I'm doing and where I'm going, just so the video doesn't start with a time lapse and you're like, what's this? Where are you going with this? So if you missed any of the previous videos, we are making a custom 4-cylinder engine out of 4 different single-cylinder engines to try and combine them all into one engine. In the last video, we got done making our crankshaft, so in this video we are going to be joining the engine blocks and then starting work on the distributor so we can get a single ignition system for each of our 4 different cylinders. So let's go back in time and pick up in my garage. In order to join the blocks together for the different engine sections, I'm using just some pieces of aluminum L channel. Here I'm just kind of cutting some grooves to fit around each of the different like the crankshaft assembly places. At the moment, I just have a cutoff wheel and a Dremel, but aluminum is pretty soft, so it was kind of gumming up the Dremel like cutoff wheel. So in the future, when I'm doing more aluminum cutting, I have a different tool, but for now I'm kind of just using 2 different cutoff wheels and then a hacksaw. It's kind of a slow manual process, but I'm getting it done with what I have. So as you go through and you build anything, kind of my philosophy for this is you measure it, you make some cuts, you offer up the part, and you just trim anything that you need. You make some more adjustments, you make some more measurements, you cut some more, and slowly you just kind of improve things. It fits a little bit better each time, and you just continue this process until you're finally done. You have a piece that fits all of your needs and everything kind of bolts up the way you want it to. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Just repeating this process of measure, cut, fit up, remeasure, recut, refit up, and just continuing to evolve these pieces over time into something that fits and works everywhere. So where we are in the video, that's kind of the first iteration, is trimming these to lengths and having these little cutouts. We ran into some issues with the flywheel, so we're just trimming more off the end. And then we'll need to actually drill holes to mount all of the engine sections together. Okay, so I ran into a little problem. When I go to put this on here, I don't know where the holes are at. Easy solution. You buy a set of punches. I've got the set size I need right here. And then you just put it through the hole in the back. And I mean, you'd flip it over, but you'd put this through the hole in the back. And you'd punch it directly into here where you know it needs to go. The problem is, this side fits just fine. This side, we have an issue. So here on the end, you'll see here we've got plenty of room, but on this side we've got this little part sticking out right here. Probably can't really see it, but if you try and put this through, it just stops, so you can't actually get to it. So on this side, I wanted to do this just to make sure it worked. I just took a drill and drilled this part out. So let me do that there. So now I can put this in from the back side when the vise isn't blocking it, and I can punch the thing that's going to sit right up here, because now I got plenty of room. It doesn't get in the way anymore, because that has been cut.
When the mist is all but gone, there's something inside the water. Don't know where they're coming from. They are free to roam above the sea, and their story stays with me like a haunting melody. What do spirits say? What do spirits say in the darker days? What do spirits say?
Okay, so I am to the point where this is ready. We can start mocking up the flywheel and the magneto, which is basically our coil for our ignition, right? And then we need some way of mounting 3 more. So we can have one flywheel, or one, yeah, I'm just going to call it the flywheel. One flywheel comes over and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to 1, because it's only 1 rotation, because it's a 2-stroke. So I have this nice plate behind me that's plenty large to do the distance from, to take this pattern and basically just rotate it 90 degrees for each thing. But then I remembered there's this plate. This is what the flywheel sits inside. The flywheel sits inside here. So that goes like that. This is in here. Spin it around. So I kind of want to try and keep this plate, just because the part of the case with the starter actually mounts to it. So this part that has the pole starter, this is what actually spins this to get it started. So these holes here mount there, there, and there. And there is a little bug that just ran underneath. Hold, please, while we kill a spider. Okay. So I want to try and keep this. So I'd like to keep these and this plate, but I can modify it if I have to. So we see that our fancy little modification here, in order to get the aluminum plate here with the screws, so we could do the punch from this side, the screws still work, so we can still thread stuff into these holes, and we can still mount this plate. The problem becomes, how do we have this plate and this plate to hold everything? So I think I'm going to just start with this plate, get the holes drilled where they need to be in space, and then I can start cutting out the center and making things fit as necessary. Okay. I'm sure that was a horrible explanation. Very disjointed and all over the place, but I mean, this is my workspace. It's also very messy and disjointed. It's how stuff happens, is you just lay everything out like a giant pile of Legos and start creating. Life is the same way, just a little bit harder. trying to figure out where to mount this because I can't just have it floating in space. So originally I was thinking I could mount it like behind here and just kind of lift this up. But then things wouldn't be at the right height because the magnets on the flywheel have to go past it at a certain height. So if it's too far this way, it won't see the magnets going past it and it won't spark, or if it's too far this way. So it needs to be, you know, basically at the same stock height. And I didn't want to modify these or cut these or anything. So what I found out is that if I just left it here and I have this plate mount on top of here, let me go ahead and rotate this so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. If we look at it from the side view, this normally mounts here, right? So this is flush up against here. And then if we take the plate, I was thinking, well, maybe I could modify the block part and kind of cut that back, so this could be back here, kind of there. But I realized I don't have to do that. I can do it on the top here, on top of this surface right here. So it's hard to see because there's too much stuff in the way and I only have two hands, so I can't hold everything at once to show you. But if it's on top of there, you'll see it's also kind of the same plane as the top of this. That plane is going to be right about there, which is the same thickness as the coil. So if the coil is there, then I don't have to really do anything. I can just have this sitting on top of, you know, this nice convenient surface we have right here. You know, don't always go with your first instinct because a better solution might come along if you just take some time and look at it. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna try going with. Okay, so I made this little template out of cardboard first. Right here I drew the holes for where the coil needs to mount up, and then since we need it to go in between, right in there, we can just feed our wires through. Cardboard is wonderful. We can just feed our wires through, and then once we get to this point, we can just kind of rotate it, and it's just right there into place, which is perfect. So I love it when a design comes together and it's just real simple. So now I just have to cut this square out of the plate, and then we should be able to just mount everything right up. So, yay cardboard! It's much easier to work with this stuff first instead of doing the expensive mistakes on the metal.
Down to the ground, you're dragging me. It's constantly. No, I won't make a sound. I love the pain. It sets me free. It's wrong, I can't make right. I love the better below. You said myself that this is the last. It's wrong, I can't make right. Slipping off in the moonlight when I knew the truth. I had myself for you. On the ground, I know the truth. I know the
Alright, so I got one done. I've got 3 more to do. I'm going to do them the same way. I'm going to try and do some YouTube magic. I know this is like an advanced technique and I'm still a beginner, but I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot. So let's go ahead and try, we'll try the clap. That one seems pretty simple. So here we go. Ready? And... hey, look! All done.
can't make right. Slipping off in the moonlight when I knew the truth. I had myself for you. On the ground, I know the truth. I know the truth. Good now, I'm on the ground. I know the truth. Cause you say those things, then shut me out. Got no clue what you have found. I'm a rose in thorns, but you cut me down. It's wrong, I can't make right. I love the butterfly you set myself, but this is the last time. It's wrong, I can't make right. Slipping off in the moonlight when I knew the truth. I had myself for you. I know the truth. Oh, now if I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own.
So with this plate, you can see it's not exactly flush up against here. There's a tiny little gap in between there. So in order to support this so it's not waving around and putting all of its weight just on those two screws, I made some little brackets. So it's just going to mount right there and right there. So I just, yep, just two little brackets. Yep. Distributor plate is done at this point, so I'm gonna go get some more hardware because I don't have enough screws for these, and then I don't know, we might be able to start doing assembly and stuff.
Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one. And I can't wait to see you hindsight is fleeting, when your heart's bleeding, and all you can see is red. Till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one. And I can't wait to see you again. Oh, What am I supposed to do? I'm lonely here without you. All these days are passing by. Standing there while you're living your life. I'm broken here alone. Where did I go wrong? Living a hollow life. I'm living a hollow life. I'm living a hollow life. I'm living a hollow life. What am I supposed to do? I'm lonely here without you. All these days are passing by. Standing there while you're living your life. I'm broken here alone. Where did I go wrong? Living a hollow life. I'm living a hollow
Okay, I just wanted to give you guys a quick break from all the time lapses. I know time lapses are kind of a cop-out, but again, I didn't really talk much during the filming of this project. I was just kind of getting stuff done, and I figured I'd do a voiceover or little insert shots like this at a later date. And now that we're finally getting around to editing this footage from last year, I'm kind of just making do with what I've got. So I apologize for all the time lapses. It won't last forever. This is just to get through this, so you don't have to listen to me doing a voiceover and explaining, I'm tightening a bolt, I'm drilling a hole, because that's, you know, that's really boring. So I'm trying to cut out as much as I can and still show what's happening. So I apologize for just the cheesy, generic, non-copyright music and all the time lapses, but to reward you for getting all the way to the end of this video, I know it's a really long video, but we are going to see some of the pistons moving and get a kind of early sneak peek at what the exhaust might sound like. So let's go ahead and listen to that. So I know it may not sound like much or really look like much. It's still not a complete engine. We've basically just got most of the big pieces. In the next video, we're going to be hooking up the ignition system, starting to work on a fuel system, get all the carburetors sorted out. That needs to just be a whole video by itself, but we are quickly catching up to the present day, so I am excited to see and kind of finish this project with you guys, because at this time in filming and editing this, I still have not finished this project yet. So I'm just going through the footage from last year and starting to put things together and catch you guys up, because you haven't seen everything. So I'm really looking forward to see how it sounds actually firing and doing a first start video. So if you want to see that, definitely subscribe to the channel. I will be posting again probably sometime in the next month, so it might be next week, it might be 6 weeks from now. So definitely subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out when that video gets uploaded. But until then, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!